Hi everyone, it's Lucy from Sweet Poppy. So this little make is using the beautiful new Holly Wreath stamp designed for us. It's our 2024 Christmas collection. It's one of the first ones, and it's using a watercolour card, and it's quite an easy make because it's not having to be very good at watercolouring. It gives you quite, not a shabby, but quite a distressed look. So it's using matte and layering with craft card, bit of watercolour cardstock, spritzing with water, and then a little stamp in the middle. So good to go. So we're going to use some of the watercolour pens from set 2. So we have got the Meadow, we've got the Moss. Oh, let me get them in. So Meadow, Moss, we've then got Poppy, and then we have Hazelnut. Don't know yet if we'll use the darker brown, which is the Mahogany. It's quite dark, so we'll wait and see. So that is from our set 2 collection. I've got a little spritzer as well. I do tend to make a watercolour chart. So on the website, if you click onto the image itself, you will see the little chart there that you're able to download, and you should be able to make your own chart up. But I would say make it on, you know, get a piece of watercolour card, write down all your colours, and then drag out, and that way you can see how they blend out and how they work for you. Nice and simple. Okay, so we're going in with our watercolour cardstock. Now this, with watercolour pens, the ink will only move really freely if you're using watercolour cardstock. If you use normal cardstock, it will get absorbed straight away. So we're going to, let me see if I can line up. Sorry if I shake the table. There we go. So popping it in and pop my magnets on. And what I want to do is I want to make sure, because I've got to go in 2 or 3 times, I want to make sure that it's not going to shift. With the magnets, you sort of say yes twice, but if I've got to go in, you know, about 3 times, then I want to make sure it is not going anywhere. So I'm putting a little bit of our stencil tape down there, so I then know that it's not going to go anywhere. Going in with the beautiful new Holly Wreath stamp. Now with the Holly Wreaths and with the mistletoe and everything, when you peel them on, peel them off, you know, don't pull them off. You want to be gentle. So what I tend to do with my bigger stamps is, once I've positioned, I'm then going to roll them on, make sure I've got no air pockets underneath. If we'd cut the middle out, what would have happened is it might have stretched and distorted, which might have been a bit of a not a nice look. So I'm quite happy with where, no I'm not. Okay, I'm going to take off again, and I'm going to just using my eye. Now this will stain your stamp, so you can use distress ink as well, or water-based ink, and you'll get a reasonably same image as well. So again, taking it, I'm then going to pull it back, and I'm going to roll it on, making sure it's nicely stuck down. So I'm quite happy with that. I've got a heat gun as well. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to start adding colour where I want colour. Not being too stressy. I'm just going to dabble on some colour. So making sure the nibs of my pen are back as I want them. I do look after my pens. They are well used. There we go. Just colouring my stamp wherever. And again, just making sure I'm taking off the ink that's on there, going in wherever I'm not stressing too much. Just trying to find where my berries are. But I'm not being too precious. So I've got green ink up on there, so I'm just taking it off on my mat, going in with a little bit of brown, just to give a bit of difference in tone and colour. It all gets blended anyway when we smush it around. Again, going back in with a bit of green, just dragging it out a little bit. A couple of berries there. Just dabbing a bit of ink here, there and everywhere. Just getting a bit of colour. So again, at the end of the day, if you haven't, when you finish and you want to add more colour, you can easily do that with more watercolour. You can pull it out with water. You could even go over the top with pencils if you wanted, you know, just to add more colour. So all I'm doing is with a bit of water, I'm giving it a bit of a spritz. If you wanted more distressed, you could spritz your paper and do it that way as well. So all we're going to do is we're smushing, moving it around, getting that ink moving nicely, almost merging and mixing and up. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so I'm not going to add any more water to it. All I'm going to do is, I'm not removing my stamp, I'm cleaning my stamp. I'm leaving it on there, so I'm just wetting it. And I've got a tea towel, an old tea towel, and I'm just going to wipe it. Letting that get absorbed. You're better to let it absorb rather than going at it with a heat gun, to be quite honest. I find the heat guns tend to warp it a little bit, but that's fine. So I'm just making sure I've got as much ink off as possible and giving it a very gentle, quick waft around. So you've not got the detail in that Amy has put in it. Okay, so now we're going to apply the detail, and what we're going to use is we are going to use the morning mist. So Verse Fine Clair morning mist. You could go in with a brown, that would look lovely as well, but I just want just a lovely almost like a pencil mark. Now when I'm going around, I'm going around the stamp rather than going straight over the middle, because you'll find that this has absorbed some water and you may transfer some ink if you get it in the middle. So we're just gentle taps, making sure we're well inked up, and if you feel that you've still got water on there, wipe it off and re-ink it again. It's no race. Lovely. I think that looks pretty good. Great. Okay. Whoops. If you could see my desk, it's absolutely crammed full of stuff. So we're just walking. I'm not shifting, I'm walking my plate. As I said, I may need to go in again with some more ink if I'm not happy that I've got enough on there. And you know what? I'm quite happy with that, to be quite honest. Maybe a little bit up there. So that would be that one up there. But I think overall, I'm pretty reasonably happy with it. There you go, perfect. Okay, just gonna this is where you need to leave alone, walk away, Lou. That's it. Okay, really happy with that. So I'm just going to wet my stamp again, give it a good old soak with water, and it's going in again with my cloth, giving them a wipe. I do like to keep my stamps nice and clean, but as I said, this will stain your stamp. It's not going to hurt it, but it will stain it. I would say if you're going to use a no line incliner, then give it a good old wash with you know, washing up liquid, rinse it clear, make sure it's nicely clear, and then you should be good to go. There we go. Okay, so we need sentiment in the middle. Now, it's not a perfect circle. We've got 7 branches that are longer that way, so you know, decide which way that you like the image. So I'm just gonna look at that and I'm going to go, right, okay, what do I want at the top, what do I want at the bottom? And I quite like that. So again, I'm going to just lift that up because I'm on watercolour cardstock and I want a good, I may have to go in twice with my word stamp because Morning Mist, my pad's a little bit dry. I should really re-ink it, but I quite like the soft greyness of it. Okay, so I'm putting the joy in the centre. Lovely. And I'm just going to make sure before I have 100 that when it's straight, yeah, that looks not too bad. And it's down. So we're going to go ink, gentle taps. I do love this. Helps if I tell you, this is a little stamp set from Eat, Drink and Be Merry, and I do love the Joy in the Peace from it. Quite quirky fonts. I do love this font. There we go, that's bolder, perfect. So when I say about dragging, it's watercolour cardstock. So what you can do with watercolour cardstock is, let me get, I've got a little pot of water. So I've got a little pot of water here. I don't fill my water pen up. I feel it releases too much water too quick. So I don't like it personally myself, filled up, but it's up to you. I do have a little pot of water always, so if I wanted to drag the ink further, what I can do is I can just wet it and I can move it that way, so it's allowing me still to have, I've still got a little bit of green up here, so what I could do is I could add more colour, so I can just colour wash in if I wanted. Just adding, defining the colour really. So down the centre, pulling it out. There we go. So we're happy what we've got there. So we've got some layers on the card. Okay, so with the craft card. So all we're going to do is a little bit of tape. Bit of double-sided and just stick it. So okay, just going to do something before I get it everywhere. See this bit of ink up here? It's on my mat. Beautiful new silicone mats. They're brilliant. This is well used, this mat is. It is a preference of mine because when I'm pasting, I just like to be able to have that one mat. The only thing I don't do is cut it on it, but everything else, yeah. So we're going to just gently line it up, just by eye, all the way around. So it just pulls it all in together. Then a little layer. This is a lot thinner cardstock on my other layers, but my craft card is a decent thickness, which you can get from most good craft shops and retailers. As you can see, finger lift, so it's not right to the edge because I have no nails. Get rid of that. So again, this is perfect for batch making. You know, this is when we're making the most. So I use a little bit of wet glue behind the tape, allowing me to just shift it around just that little bit at a time. So again, pop him on, eye up. That's not bad for me. That is not bad. And then my last layer, and this will go onto a 7x7. So my topper, gosh, couldn't even say the word then. My topper that I stamped on is 135 or 13.5 centimeters, and then my next layer is about 14 centimeters, going like that. And then my last layer is my craft card, and that's just slightly less than 7 inches, just to give me a little white border all the way around. So this is going to go onto there reasonably, size them up. That's not bad. So that will go onto a little, as I said, a base card. Where have I got my base card? There we go. So, oh, there we go. Maybe a little bit bigger than my original one, but there you go. So that creates a very simple but effective little make. I hope you enjoyed the inspiration. Don't forget to tune in for more videos and makes by Sweet Poppy.